Alright guys, so we are in the third game of Bracket AG. It's going to be Polarbearz. On the left side is the green player using Ash Osprey in the Medic Osprey, and he will be playing against the TheBigBoss, the Carbon player on the right, also in the Medic Osprey, flying with the Mechanic. Game is on right now. Spec buffering is over, so this is the deciding match. TheBigBoss actually chose right side, which is weird. I kind of wouldn't expect that on a game on Dust. Dust recently renovated from Simple. Simple used to be the old name of this map, but had a lot of cosmetic changes. It got changed to Dust, and now it's Dust forever. So yeah, TheBigBoss going with 2 Gemini opening, exact same as Polarbearz. These players are going to, let's see, level 1 ability, so exact same opening. And Polarbearz going with it forward grab immediately. TheBigBoss dropping a Gemini for this outpost, and TheBigBoss doing a quick scout. He is able to kill his T99 first, I would say, or it will go down first. Polarbearz now going to start with a normal, like with a normal opening right here. And right now, TheBigBoss is a little bit ahead. He's been able to kill his T99. He only has 9 upkeep right now, as opposed to Polarbearz's 11. Okay, now it's 11-11. Polarbearz might be able to. Oh, he's getting that salvage. I don't know really how much that really is worth, to be quite honest. I understand it's 520 or whatever, but I don't know if it's worth the time. Let's see, TheBigBoss is not starting his artillery fight quite yet. Polarbearz is. TheBigBoss has his jammer down on the bottom, which is a very, very popular choice now. And Polar is doing the exact same thing, just so he can attack the units over here, but they will deflect. And yeah, Polarbearz. Oh, let's see the loadout. No one has. Oh, Polarbearz has bombs. That's actually pretty huge. What did? Oh, TheBigBoss has Berthas though. So if TheBigBoss can extend this game, the Berthas will win out for the most part. And yeah, the 1 jammer. Okay, 2 jammers down. Probably need some more artillery. Or sorry, some healing units. Polarbearz has a great unit mix and unit composition. Has stuff spread out really, really well. I once again don't think that that's the best way to go, just with the new jamming mechanics, but it's still up for speculation, to be quite honest. The meta is still pretty new. And right now it's 23-22. It's pretty much an even game. TheBigBoss taking the middle outpost briefly over and over and over again, you know, before Polarbearz is able to. And let me go in a free cam type of thing so you can see everything. So yeah, 26-27. It's still pretty even. Both players are going pretty even, but Polar's spreading his units a lot more. TheBigBoss is clumping them all right here. And yeah, I think that's going to be the big difference. If TheBigBoss can use tanks to snipe units on the side and stuff like that, like for example this one, he can drop two tanks right here, maybe land and shoot. If Polarbearz is not in the right position, he might be able to snipe it. Whereas if Polarbearz tried to do that, it'd be much harder to do, just because these units are so tightly packed in, and that like anything that's dropped here will be like in the range of like everything sitting over here, and that's the huge thing. Polarbearz trying to take the middle outpost under his control briefly. He might be able to do it with all those creeps. He does, yes. Oh, and he's using bombs. Okay, so that's pretty huge. And but TheBigBoss is here to heal it up. So that's yeah, that's probably not going to be that successful. Is Polar just going to continue bombing? Yes, he is. He has auto build abilities on, so TheBigBoss is trying to keep up and heal all these units. But bomb on Simple. Oh, TheBigBoss lost a lot. So will this even last to Berthas? They are only each at level 3 and 4. And Polarbearz with more bombs. Yeah, on Simple, it's such an OP strategy. And yeah, just losing units left and right. TheBigBoss needs to pull back, needs to bring more ratchets down on the field. And his ratchet's actually real low on health as well. So yeah, needs to pull back to the low ground, and Polarbearz is going to be able to gain this advantage. Might be able to finish off this Gemini, and no, TheBigBoss is able to save it. So tiny, minute little things like killing 2 units here with bombs after grabbing the quick outpost, you know, like, I mean, okay, it's not as tiny as maybe I initially just said, but it's still, yeah, oh man, Polar can quad drop already, or no, triple drop, man, level 4, level 1 carry upgrade. And finishing off a ratchet. The jammer is now kind of in a vulnerable spot in the front. Although TheBigBoss has a Sonya here in the back, you might want to just sell off this jammer so he can get more credits and you know, try to make more so he can level up more, something like that. Let's see if Polarbearz can actually advance further. However, TheBigBoss's tanks are right up here, so it's going to be a little bit hard to move out. Yeah, so Polarbearz with quite a lot of units. It's 36-34, so it's not like Polarbearz has a huge lot more units out on the field, but he has better positioning for sure. He's well, the further you are from the outpost, the more dangerous it is in terms of trying to grab it. Not trying to grab it, trying to like, because Polar's distance to fly is here to here, whereas TheBigBoss is just from here to here. It's a little bit better. but it's a little bit harder to see because his map is also in this bottom left-hand corner. So I'm a little surprised that he chose right. 38 to 36. The Big Boss is actually losing kind of a lot of units, and Polarbearz is trying to heal up what he can, but quite a lot of tanks over here. And Polar is actually pretty low enough. Big Boss did not decide to pursue. I don't know if he would have been able to get that kill anyway because the Osprey has pretty weak guns. And he is going with Mechanic. What, I forget the exact stats of Mechanic. I don't think it has a damage reduction, but either way, yeah, Polarbearz is, whoa, look at this huge, really tightly packed in unit cluster, a lot of tanks, so Big Boss will lose quite a lot of units to that. And right now, Polar has quite a lot of artillery out in the field, pelting away at Big Boss's units, and now Polar is getting a pretty large lead, and again going to do his bombing. Big Boss really needs to hit Bertha's, I think. That's pretty much the deciding factor. If he can reach Bertha's, he'll start to make a comeback, I think, but it depends on the situation at the time. If Polar is enough ahead, and Polar with his pinpoint precision bombing, oh man, he's just going to be able to kill over and over and over again with his bombs. And yeah, you can see health bars. See, these are at half health, and Big Boss is trying to get things healed up, but yeah, it's not looking good for him. However, okay, wait, 42 to 45. So he has been able to. Where did his stuff get killed? I don't know. Either way, oh, because there's some over here. His artillery is sort of doing a little bit of work. Where's Polar's? Okay, has two jammers right in the same spot. If Big Boss had bombs, he'd be able to snipe them both at the same time, but he doesn't. Right now it's 44 to 47. Big Boss is actually a little bit ahead. Polar is sort of losing this fight just because he's losing the middle outpost over and over and over again. He doesn't have a supportive outpost just like Big Boss does. Lots of artillery still pointing in for Big Boss. And let me. All right, there we go. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, lots of artillery for Polarbearz. 1, 2, 3. Not that much for Big Boss. Big Boss is at 5. He really needs to hit 6, and that's going to be like Polarbearz is kind of like on a time clock, right? The time is ticking away before Big Boss hits the level that he can make Bertha's. And the thing is, this might have been a double blind loadout. I don't know if they switched them or not, but Polarbearz might not even be aware that Big Boss has Bertha's. Middle outpost goes down to neutral one more time, and Big Boss is actually taking this. It's 53 to 42. And Big Boss is actually at his unit cap. Polarbearz doesn't have middle outpost under his control, and everything for Polar is sitting right here, and they might be kind of vulnerable depending. Big Boss is at level 6, making gens now. Might want to start to sell some stuff just so he can make Bertha's, you know, especially the artillery, just because that's what's going to replace. But that would just be for the credits purposes, because he's making gens. He'll be okay to hold right now just with the Archies. And yeah, now Polarbearz is kind of at a loss as to how to approach right now. He's forced to pull back. Big Boss first Bertha out on the field, and this is not good news for Polarbearz. Does have 2 grinders coming out, so that might be pretty devastating. He can actually make a critical mass enough of grinders, and because Big Boss has Gemini, those grinders are going to be pretty effective and will take a really long time to die, and that's the big thing. 3 grinders now pretty much finished in his build queue. Big Boss not coming out with any more Berthas, actually. I'm a little surprised to see that. Now selling off, no, he's just healing. Okay, now, okay, he is selling off those Berthas, or sorry, those Archies, and he's probably going to be queuing up Berthas instead. Polarbearz just doing quick scout, looking over. I don't know if he noticed the Bertha out on the field, but if he didn't, then he should have, because that's pretty huge. I don't know what Big Boss is planning on doing right now. What is he planning on? Okay, either way, yeah, okay, selling off his Archies. Okay, yes, Bertha's now coming out. That was weird. What was he doing when flying around in circles with the Bertha? That's kind of strange. Maybe he was preventing Polar from getting hits on it, but a Bertha is not really, you don't really worry about Berthas taking damage from bombs. Was he even bombing? I couldn't even tell. But now Polar with 4 grinders, that will do a lot of work. That will do a lot of work. Big Boss needs to scout. He needs to scout. Polar it has something up his sleeve, selling off all of his artillery. Did Boss see those grinders? I don't know if he really noticed them. He needs to start pumping out more tanks. I mean, I know that the Gemini is not as powerful against the grinder than a Longhorn and Dillo. I think Dillo's even stronger. Just Gemini is just really health efficient. But yeah, I would like to. I mean, oh god, 5 grinders out now, kind of derping out. But what is Polar going to do with them? That's the question. And Big Boss has some Berthas coming out. I don't know. They're not. I mean, his positioning's not great. They're not firing on these units for Polar. Once Polar takes the mid, sure. Oh god, he's doing a bottom push. Is Boss going to notice this? No, he's just pumping out more generators. And no, he's not going to see it. He's not going to see it. He's not going to see it. is not going to see it. It's just grinders. Oh no, it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. Okay, now he does realize that it's coming, but he needs to. I would say point the Berthas backwards. I would say point the Berthas backwards. You don't want them to get killed. These are grinders. Why are the grinders going so freaking fast? I guess they're as fast as normal tanks now. But this is an all-in push for Polar. If this doesn't actually finish it off, then yeah. Then Polar has lost this game. And Big Boss is base racing right now. Probably a good decision, but needs to actually come back and defend against this. What is Polar doing? He's going to try to take this close outpost under his control. Oh, actually, this is not an all-in. He's going to be able to take this outpost under his control if he can neutralize it and stuff. Big Boss, oh, he got finished off by a Seeker, and that's it. That's it. I don't think Big Boss can defend against this. I don't think so. This is too late, and it's not big enough. He didn't send everything, and all of his Berthas are gone. 52 to 37. Polarbearz doing a bottom push, never getting scouted by the Big Boss. And okay, defensive Bertha going down, but Polarbearz killing the Big Boss, and the grinders have finished off the units down here. So wow, 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 wow. Big Boss had it with the Berthas, but Polarbearz switching to pull back and just pushing down here. Now that's a strategic move, which is crazy awesome. And that is going to be it. The Big Boss is going to get knocked out of this tournament by Polarbearz due to that bottom push. And that, yeah, there's nothing that the Big Boss can do at this point. I mean, the defensive Berthas might have been able to do it, but the way that Big Boss did it, he started to position him here instead of maybe push him, point him out, and maybe a V-pathing back to defend. But still, even then, Polar's mass was gigantic, and that is it. Polarbearz moving on to the semifinals, and going to face Illusion. So crazy, crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. I've never seen. I mean, I have seen games like this in tournaments, but I mean, I did not expect this in a 1v1 tournament. Definitely not. So I hope that this is living up to the hype, the strike down hype. Stay tuned for the semifinals.